Today's bull session concerns the sources and principles of international law under the international business law. Hello friends, this is Sanjay Arora. By profession, I am an advocate. I welcome all of you to my YouTube channel Legally Determined. Let's get started. When we consider transactions between the two different countries, these transactions would become subject to international law, because if the countries applied only their own laws to businesses from other countries, no cross-border transaction would be possible. Public international law is a set of rules that define how one country will interact with the other country, how their citizens will interact, and how businesses will be carried on between the countries. International law derives its source from the treaties between the nations or the conventions agreed upon between the members' nations and internationally adopted practices and customs. Article 38 of the Statute of the International Court of Justice. The various sources of international law are: first, international conventions and treaties; second, international customs and general practice; third, general principles of law recognized by the civilized nations; fourth, judicial decisions and scholarly writings. The international business transactions are privy to multiple things like WTO regulations, World Trade Organization regulations, and various sources of international business laws, etc. These sources of law are referred to while addressing any international litigation and arbitration proceedings. The international business transaction disputes partake of the effective compliance of the law of land, human right violations, labor law standards, advertisements of products and services, the breach of anti-bribery clauses, environmental ethics, and intellectual property rights and business ethics. International laws are not enacted by any legislature or the parliament of any country, albeit conventions require countries to develop local laws in alignment with these conventions. Coming to the conventions, treaties, and agreements. Conventions are multilateral agreements and treaties are bilateral agreements. The conventions are created by the international bodies to stand the multiple countries in good stead. The conventions are drafted by the member nations at the world fora like the United Nations or any other international forum. These conventions are applicable to the country only when such conventions are adopted or ratified by that country. Whereas treaties are executed directly between the parties and it comes to force when the parties to the treaties sign these treaties. For instance, peace treaties between the countries at war. First, some famous conventions relevant for the international trade matters are: first, 1958 UN Convention on the Recognition and Enforcement of Foreign Arbitral Awards, New York Convention; second, OECD, the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development multilateral conventions to implement tax treaty related matters to prevent BEPS. BEPS means base erosion and profit shifting, refers to the tax planning strategies used by the multinational enterprises that exploit gaps and mismatches in tax rules to avoid paying tax. Third, the Hague Convention, abolishing the requirement for legislation of foreign public documents. Treaties are agreements which are entered into by the two countries, agreeing how certain transactions will be dealt with between these countries. For instance, DTAAS, double taxation avoidance agreements. Through such treaties, countries agree that where a specific income is taxable by both the countries, either on the basis of residence or on the basis of the place where the income is generated, only one of them will tax such income. While drafting a cross-border contract, for instance, you are hiring agents in another country. The drafter has to check DTAAS, double taxation avoidance agreement, if it amounts to the PE, the permanent establishment, because the tax incidence depends upon this fact. Another example of a treaty is an investment treaty between countries to provide protection to investing entities in both the countries against the local laws which can jeopardize the returns from the investment. Article 253 of the Indian Constitution empowers the Parliament to enact any law for the whole country or any part or territory of the country for the implementation of any treaty, agreement or convention with any other country or countries. Some enactments by the Indian Parliament in alignment with the international conventions and international treaties are: first, the Diplomatic Relation Vienna Convention Act 1972. Second, the Protection of Human Rights Act 1993. Third, the SAARC Convention, Suppression of Terrorism Act 1993. Fourth, the Biological Diversity Act 2002, to name a few. Treaties are not brought into the local law, but the transactions between the countries are governed by such treaties. Barring the international conventions and treaties, organizations such as the ICC, the International Chamber of Commerce, have certain model contracts and rules providing for the uniform terms and practices for the specific transaction between the countries. Some examples of uniform contracts, documents and practices are: first, Incoterms. Incoterms is an acronym standing for International Commercial Terms. Incoterms is a trademark of the International Chamber of Commerce registered in several countries. These Incoterms rules are the world's essential terms of international trade for the sale of goods, like FOB, free on board, CIF, cost, insurance and freight, FAS, free alongside ship, etc. Second, UCPDC, the Uniform Customs and Practices for Documentary Credit, currently UCP 600, facilitate the international trade or export-import transactions. UCP 600 are used by the banks and financial institutions and are embodied in the international import and export contracts. These UCP 600 rules apply to the issuance of the letter of credit especially. IFRS, International Financial Reporting Standards. These IFRS, most countries have adopted IFRS for the presentation of accounts in that country. The public international law have principles written or codified in various conventions and treaties and rules. There are certain principles not written anywhere, but they are followed by the countries based on the customs. Such laws are known as customary laws. While drafting the cross-border contracts, business ethics of a particular jurisdiction should have to be adhered to. For instance, in European countries, there is a great deal of respect for shareholder disclosures and corporate governance. Standards of business, such as labor, health, safety, and environmental emission standards, social responsibility standards, etc., has to be followed. For this, the International Labour Organization voluntary standards for the workplace have to be adhered to. While drafting a cross-border contract, anti-money laundering or anti-terrorist financing laws and practices have to be taken care of. To curb bribery practices, the USA has the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act and the UK has the UK Bribery Act 2010, both of which have an extraterritorial application. The contract must not violate the internationally recognized human rights, such as the right to personal liberty. For instance, withholding someone's passport until a task is effectively completed is against the recognized human rights of liberty. Intellectual property rights. If the country is a member of the WIPO, World Intellectual Property Organization, based on Berne Convention, it determines how the IPR clause is drafted. The Berne Convention for the protection of literary and artistic works, usually known as the Berne Convention, was an international assembly held in 1886 in the Swiss city of Bern by 10 European countries with the goal to agree on a set of legal principles for the protection of original work. The enforcement and interpretation of contracts within a country depends upon whether it follows the civil law legal system or the common law legal system. For instance, Cairn Energy PLC is one of the European leading independent oil and gas exploration oil production companies and is listed in the London Stock Exchange. In December 2020, Cairn Energy PLC won an arbitral award from an international arbitration tribunal against the Government of India, where the Government of India was asked to pay $1.4 billion in damages to Cairn Energy for the retrospective tax levied on Cairns. Cairn contested that the tax on the basis of the bilateral investment treaty between India and the UK. Cairn moved court in 9 countries to get the award enforced, out of which 5 recognized the award. It means that Cairn Energy PLC would be able to have the Indian sovereign assets in those countries sold to enforce the award. So we have discussed the sources and principles of international law under the international business law. You are requested to like, share and subscribe my YouTube channel Legally Determined. Many thanks to you for watching this video. Thank you. Goodbye and good luck.